Hello and welcome to the Page 49 podcast. I am your host, Montgomery, the librarian with a library and a degree. So, let me first say, happy 2016. Hope your new year is going to start out right. Hence, while you're listening to this podcast, because what better way to start off the new year is to listening to episode 3 of Page 49. I can't think of a better way than to celebrate the new year by listening to this show. So, for this podcast, I am planning to talk to two guests. And these two guests are running a brand new component at my library, and the library system in general, called YOUmedia. I have Colin, who is the YOUmedia coordinator for the North and South Dade Regional Branch, and Jamelia, who is the YOUmedia librarian for the South Dade Regional Library. So I'm going to be talking to them about what YOUmedia is about, but I'm going to start off with Colin for him to explain what is YOUmedia.
YOUmedia is all about putting high-tech components into libraries around the country, putting in high-end production computers. So we have an iMac bay and a iPod or iPad bay, and also some MacBook Pro computers, where basically kids can work in the Adobe suite, so in things like Photoshop and also in things like Premiere, where they can work on graphic design projects or work on video production projects. We also have a sound booth where they can work on music production, so they can actually come in here, record something, and then go into a program like GarageBand or Logic Pro and actually mix that all together. So it really gives them the sense of what it's like to be out in the real world, making a real creative product using the tools and software that they would use in the real world.
Currently, the YOUmedia Lab in South Dade is open to the public, more specifically for the teens, but we haven't had the grand opening yet. That is going to be scheduled on January 22nd from 3:30 to 5. Here's Colin again to give some more details about the grand opening.
Absolutely, yeah. We're going to have the congressperson over here, or the council member over here, to sort of give a speech. We'll also have our library director in town, or in location as well, to sort of talk about it. And we'll have some food and some performance from a band over here. So there's going to be some fun things going on. We'll also be giving tours of the space. So if adults would like to come in and sort of see, what the space is like for their kids, they can come in and sort of get a tour. They can see our 3D printers actually printing things right there. They can get a sense of what our kids are doing in the space. Well, actually, it's during YOUmedia hours. So we're expecting to have some kids working on some of their projects here while the grand opening is happening. So it's going to be sort of a live grand opening event sort of thing that's happening, where they can actually get a full sense of everything that's going on in the space.
Next, I asked Jamelia what was her role being a YOUmedia librarian at South Dade.
Well, in this space, what I basically do is I make sure that the mentors are assisting the teens. We have mentors who specialize in different areas. So we have one mentor, Chris. He specializes in music. He actually goes to school for music production, so he's been helping the teens with GarageBand and learning how to record different soundtracks and things like that. Then we have the other mentor, Mike, who's going to school for graphic design, and he's been assisting the teens with using Illustrator and Photoshop. And right now, he actually is assisting teens with creating a Google logo for the Doodle for Google contest that's going on right now. So they're pretty excited about that, and so am I. They're doing a wonderful job so far.
Next, Jamelia gives us some insight as to the programming that YOUmedia will have.
Yeah, actually, Colin had a wonderful idea. He has us offering 3 programs a week, and the programs, they're going to change each week. So, for example, I'll just talk about the programs that I'm going to offer.
Right.
One week I'll offer a coding class. Then the next week I'll offer maybe an Android app development course. Then after that, maybe a blogging course where you can learn how to use like WordPress or Tumblr, things like that. And then the final week I'll show how to create like Apple applications. And then we'll kind of follow the same courses every week, but it's just like they'll learn something new. So maybe we'll start off with the beginning phases of a website the first week, but then when we get to that next month, we may decide to go into CSS or something different where they just learn how to do different things for a web page.
While all these programs are free, there are some conditions that teens have to meet. Here's Colin once more to explain.
Students 14 to 19 years old who are residents of Miami-Dade County and also have a library card and a high school ID. So those are basically what they need to have. We've been having a lot of interest from kids who are homeschooled, so we've been making those allowances as well. So obviously in that case, they're not going to have a high school ID. But I think this is a good way to augment a homeschool education because a lot of these people, don't have access to, the extracurricular materials that they would have, if they were going to a traditional high school, for example, so they can come in here and do things, that they would normally be doing in an art class, nowadays, or in a media production class nowadays, or things like that. And it also allows them to sort of get out of the home and interact with youth in their same age range and sort of, build upon their ideas and sort of, let their creative juices start flowing there and also build up some friendships that way, I think. So it's a good sort of component to the homeschooling.
Well, that's going to do it for our podcast for today, folks, but I want to take the time to thank Colin and YOUmedia for taking time out of their schedule to discuss with me on my podcast all the great things they're planning to do for YOUmedia. So don't forget, January 22nd is our grand opening. From 3:30 to 5, all are welcome to attend to this program. Now, again, if you have any questions, you can also visit our website, which is www.mdpls.org, or call the South Dade Regional Library at 305-233-8140 for more information. So, again, thank you very much for listening to the Page 49 podcast. I am your host, Montgomery, and I'll talk to you again really soon.